Browns 0-8 at home. Just sad.
I haven't heard you this down since Stocky Brown got fired. It's a game that we were in, and it's a game that we just don't finish.
I don't want to watch anymore.
Why? Why does that happen? I'm so sick of watching those plays.
0-16.
I definitely do not want to watch this all 22.
That's up and down to me. That looks like dysfunction. Welcome back, Survivors, episode 32, season 3, Surviving the Season. I'm Adam Greggs here.
Yo! What is up?
It is preview time for Pittsburgh versus the Browns, round 2. This time in Pittsburgh on Sunday.
Easy win.
Easy win. Browns are 8.5-point dogs.
What?
Yeah.
Las Vegas lost faith in our team.
They have lost faith. EJ Gaines out, Schobert out, Higgins out, Randall questionable, Damari Scott questionable.
Cool.
Someone else didn't practice today.
Mari Scott. I don't even know he's on a roster.
He is
Randall is going to be the biggest one there, is he not? So EJ Gaines, this will be his second game out in a row with a concussion, but Demarius Randall, as we know, he took over in the cornerback slot last game out, and he ended up guarding Mike Evans quite a few times. I wonder who the matchup here is for him then, because they don't have that big receiver. Hunter, I guess, is a taller receiver. Are you really worried about Justin Hunter? No, not really. Antonio Brown, we imagine, is going to get checked by Ward. And then what we're really worried about is the slot receiver, Juju Smith-Schuster, who had his way with the Browns last time around, if you recall. But I would fully expect that would be the T.J. Carey kid from that we got from Oakland to play the slot, and he's done a fine job when he's covering the slot receiver. He's done a good job. Now that's why you end up having to put Demarius Randall on the outside, because he's gotten roasted by outside receivers. But when it comes to playing that position that he's been asked to play recently, he's played well. So hopefully, him being there instead of BBC, hopefully that gives us a bump in play, because you remember Juju taking a couple of those slant passes for long gains against BBC in the last game.
Yeah, I had 5 receptions for 119 yards,
which is good for my fantasy team, but bad for my love of my Browns.
And Treader, I think, did not practice today as well.
Yeah, so Treader played. He fought through the injury last week. Hugh Jackson commended him for being a tough guy and making it through the game, and brought that up to the team. He said that in one of his press conferences. So I imagine that's just another precautionary thing with Treader. You want to give him all week to rest. Now, is how much rust is he going to have on him with no practice now for going on the second week here? We'll see. One thing we know is the Steelers' defensive line. They really kicked our ass last time out. Cam Hayward was in there quite a bit. Stephen Tuitt. If it wasn't T.J. Watt, it was the kid on the other side. I can't think of his name now.
Dupree.
Why can't I? Bud Dupree. But T.J. Watt clearly had one of his best games of his career. So that's going to be a major issue. We want to have our line intact. I mean, right now that's the weak link. It seems like on the offense for us,
or receivers.
Yeah. Well, yes, the receivers obviously, but the tackles have just been getting bullied, and this will be another tough matchup. Now, it's not going to be as bad from a strength matchup. Bud Dupree's more of a speed guy, so that matches up well for Harrison. I did get a chance. I was going back and watching the last game. We haven't really talked about that, and the issues in the first half, the feeling I got from it was like a carryover from that San Diego game. There was something about that San Diego game. Things didn't feel right. And then we get into that first half against Tampa Bay, and Baker just really wasn't pulling the trigger. And when I got to watch the All-22, you can see there are some receivers open there. There's some guys running free. Not real open, but at the same time, there's guys that are getting open. But I don't know what it is. He was waiting that second long, and I know he's worried about the rush. I know he's worried about the guys on the outside, and that seems to be what he's reacting to. and that's sort of making him gun shy, thinking he's going to get hit while he's throwing it. I mean, a couple of these times he was going to have to take a big hit and get the ball out, and maybe that's part of just being a rookie. So I thought second half he came out and he looked like the old Baker Mayfield, and he was really slinging it around, being pretty free. But I don't know, there was a little bit of, he gave me a little bit of vibe. He just was not 100% comfortable in that first half. So hopefully he can carry over how he played in the second half against Tampa Bay into this game. A lot of that, I think, is just going to have to be with the tackles, though. I think that's sort of where it starts with Baker. The receivers aren't always open, but at the same time, there's ones that he was clearly hitting. He was waiting. He was waiting. Remember how we sort of talked about it? Like, he'll wait in the pocket for a count longer than what Tyrod will, and he'll wait for that guy to come open.
Yeah.
It just it looks like he's almost afraid to do that, and now he's trying to scramble. He's going, hey, I want to wait for this, but I don't trust my offensive line, and that's a real problem. You have to be able to trust your offensive line, and it's not look. Of course, guys are going to get beat from time to time, but they shouldn't be getting pushed back into you over and over and over like they have been.
Yeah, could make for a long Sunday if the Steelers' front four is bringing it.
That's an obvious thing that came off of the film from watching, and then just overall, it just seems like the defense continues. And I know we sort of talked about this a bit. You're saying the defense isn't really that good, and they're just, and maybe that's because they're that bend don't break style defense. Like they'll give up yardage, they'll give up some chunk plays, but then they always just seem to be making one or two plays that throw off a drive. And what did we give up? 21 points to, right? It was tied 21-21 last time we played Pittsburgh. So
yeah,
they've been putting up, pretty big points. Now they only scored 14 against Baltimore, but nobody's scoring any points against Baltimore. But they scored 37 against Kansas City, 30 against Tampa Bay, 41 against Atlanta, 28 against Cincinnati. So we've played them. If you go from a point wise standpoint, we played them better than everybody but the Ravens. I don't know. How many turnovers did we have against them?
One. They had 6.
Oh, that's it? So we can probably get that again, right?
Gonna need to. Yeah. Definitely gonna need to.
Yeah. Way to be confident.
I mean, yeah, a lot of the first game, there's a lot of this is a different matchup, really. Tyrod was 15 of 40 for 197 yards. Carlos Hyde had 22 carries for 62 yards. He's gone. Tyrod's done. Josh Gordon had a catch for 17 yards and a score. He's gone.
Wow. It's almost like we have a new offense, and it's only been 6 weeks away. So run defense, as we know, the Steelers are usually pretty tough run, but they struggle against the pass. And a big part of that is their linebackers. This is, again, the sort of, without Shazier being in there, they just cannot cover the same way that they were covering before. Shazier was super athletic. He was able to make a ton of plays in the pass game, and they cannot do that. And you think, when I look at this is a matchup where David Njoku can really take advantage of the defense here. We know they play like a softer coverage out on the outside. They play a lot of zone. Really, the middle of the field is where you want to be able to, it's your bread and butter. Now, I would like them to use Duke a little bit more, running those angle routes out of the backfield, those kind of get him in some the little dump offs we're sort of using for Landry. Mm-hmm. I don't know why half of those can't go to Duke.
Right.
It doesn't make sense. Duke makes guys miss. I mean, if you look at his elusive rating is like either number 1 or number 2 in the league, and we're not getting him the ball. Like, it's great that you want to get Landry the ball, but Duke is still the better player with the ball in his hands. So get Duke the ball more. I don't know why they can't figure this out, but this game clearly lines up for tight ends and running backs. And what's going to happen? We're probably not going to use either of them. And I'm going to be, after the game, we're going to be sitting back here wondering why we can't get Duke the ball for the 37th week in a row since Hugh's been here. And it's pretty mind-numbing, thing that we go through here.
Yeah. Steelers coming off their bye too, so they've had an extra week to get healthy. No Le'Veon Bell though. It's still going to be James Conner this week.
Right. Right, and Connor's been doing a hell of a job. If anything shows that running backs just don't matter, and paying running backs a shitload of money is not worth it, it's James Conner basically putting up the same amount of stats of what Le'Veon Bell, and in some places even better. I think he's off to a better start from receiving, catching the ball. What's the point? Almost any guy can do the same job as long as your offensive line is studs like they have in Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
And so the one thing we know from all the data out there is that bye weeks can go one or two ways. They can go really horribly after the bye week, and they can go really good. And there's a large, I don't know what it is. There's just it could go either way. So a lot of teams go, oh, they got a bye, they're going to be feeling good. Well, that's not always the case. Oh, they got extra rest. Well, could be, or they could have extra. They're doing extra cocaine for the week, or they're doing, gives them more time to hang out with the in-laws. They can't take that. They're losing their mind. You just don't know what's going on in their personal lives. So it's not always the best thing being on that bye. It seems like that's the thing you hear. Oh, they're on the bye. They're going to be well rested. They're going to be ready to play. Well, that's just not true. The numbers show that it can go any which way. So we don't know exactly how the Steelers will come out of that.
Yeah, I guess it's just an extra week to get healthy. Still pretty early in the season, so I don't know how banged up they were.
Well, what does their injury report look at? Like, do you have that in front of you by chance?
Marcus Gilbert's questionable.
That's it?
That's just from a couple days ago, but I haven't seen who practiced today.
So we're relatively banged up, right? If anybody needs a bye week, it's us right now. And I mean, that's just due to the fact we've played like a game more than everybody.
Yeah.
So Steelers have played one less game if you just go by actual games played, but we've played 2 games extra than what they have because of all the extra quarters and overtime we played. And not to mention, when you look at Garrett's snaps and Ogunjobi's snaps compared to the other guys of those positions, they've played like a game and a half worth extra snaps than
what all
guys. It is crazy. It's like every single year. What do they talk about with LeBron? When they were with the Cavs,
limiting his minutes and shit.
We got to get less minutes. And then meanwhile, you look and he's playing 40 minutes every single game. They go, why is he playing so many minutes? Because they can't win a game without him. That's the same thing that we're complaining about. We can't do anything without Garrett. I mean, God forbid we keep a backup defensive end around here on our team. That would be silly. We got Chad Thomas. It's not good from that standpoint, and I think you brought that up to me last week, how exhausted Garrett looks.
Yeah, he was pretty wiped out.
This is probably not the best place for the Browns to be this week. And everybody's picking them to get their ass kicked. Everybody, and not
so we
just
might have
like
a chance then, because everyone's been picking the Browns to win each week. Like, oh, Tampa Bay, we can win this one. We're going to go down there and show them what's up. I think the Browns have to be like an underdog. They got to have the underdog mentality.
Well, first, I can't tell you how many games that we've won since we've been back since '99 in Pittsburgh, but it's not many. It's not many at all.
No,
if maybe one or two. Second, like it took 6 turnovers to get a tie. I mean, 6 turnovers to get a tie. You remember what Bill Barnwell had that stat? It was like 130 games with 6 turnovers. Only 2 teams have ever lost, and 2 of them, and one of them was the Browns, and the other one was a tie, something like that. I can't remember how the whole thing went, but it was not good. So besides the turnovers,
it'll be an interesting game
because they killed us. It's not like Connor ran for a lot of yards in that first game though, right? He did have a touchdown, did he not?
31 carries, 135 yards, and 2 scores.
Okay. Well, I'm wrong. I guess he did. So play Connor this week.
The Browns had 5 catches for 57 yards.
Oof. Okay. Yep. Play Connor. We did hold Antonio Brown to under 100 yards, so that's a bonus. If you can get him to this 93, you've done well.
Yeah, on 16 targets, I'll take that.
Hey, he didn't get 100 against us. We did it.
Yeah.
Finally. He did get a touchdown against us last time out, from what I recall. What did we do offensively? Landry had 7 catches for 106 on 15 targets, so he had a hell of a game. Fells and Njoku combined went for 4 catches for 25 yards, so our tight ends didn't get anything done. Duke had 1 catch for 8 yards. Sheesh.
Yeah.
And like you said, 15 of 40 for Tyrod for 197 yards. I'm just expecting so much more from Baker here than what Tyrod can give us.
Agreed. Yeah. It'll at least be more interesting to watch. We at least have a shot.
Well, yeah, I think we should be able to. I mean, it's not like teams aren't scoring points against the Steelers. So I talked about what they've put up, the Steelers, but here's what they've given up. 21 to us, 42 to the Chiefs, 27 to the Buccaneers, 26 to the Ravens, 17 to the Falcons, and 21 to the Bengals. So teams are scoring points against them as well. Defense like I said, their defense is just really not that tough. They've struggled to get pressure. They've struggled in coverage. So there's things we can do here to win. I mean, now you would think Todd Haley's going to have some plays here that he wants to use. He's going to have a trick or two up his sleeve going up against the Steelers.
Yeah,
but
hopefully
didn't necessarily fare well game one.
I know. Yeah, it's hard to look back at game one offensively just because it's so different this time going in with this basically brand new offense.
Yeah,
I mean, 8.5 points is probably relatively close to a decent line.
Yeah. Well, all right. Let's say you get 8.5 points. Who are you taking?
Browns.
Because that's a big score for the way they've been playing.
It's a field goal game. Yeah, we'll keep it close.
Field goal game. Okay. I like that. So you are a little positive. So you're like, we're going to lose just only by a field goal. Yeah, this is a tough matchup. Now, if we do, let's just say we do go out and we lose by a field goal. Hugh getting fired after this game or what?
No, I don't think so.
No? Okay.
You might as well let him fall next week to Kansas City, too.
Wait, how many more weeks we got till the bye? This is 8.
Pittsburgh, then Kansas City, then bye.
Okay. I guess you're right. 2 tough ones.
Yeah, no sense like having somebody try to manage that game when you can just put that one off on Hugh, too.
So speaking of Hugh, you know how Hugh made his whole comments. Did you see the Baker Mayfield interview after, I think it was Monday?
I think
Tuesday?
So.
Yeah, and he said, it's amazing that our rookie quarterback has enough brains and leadership and that he knows the proper thing to say. They asked him, they said, well, about Hugh's comments, and he said, people can get very heated and you just don't want to overreact after a game, like when emotions are high. We're still working at this thing. We're close to getting it right. It's amazing that your 23-year-old quarterback knows how to properly talk to the media, but the coach, who's supposed to be the leader of the team, can't figure that out after, 3 years of the same thing. We've been complaining about him talking to the press now for 3 years, how he just does not understand the proper way of doing it. He even has a goddamn coach. The guy in there coaching him how to properly talk to the media, he still can't get it right. Meanwhile, Baker walks in there and goes, no, it's on me. It's my fault. We're not getting this done. Everything's in place. Let's not panic. Let's just keep doing what we're doing. It will come together. You'll see. It's amazing to me.
Yeah, it's pretty easy.
Yep. And then they asked Haley about it. Haley's kind of pretty much giving the same comments. Has Hugh been in more meetings? Nope. Hugh's been there exactly the way he's been. We see him once a week walking down, in the buffet line. They asked Duke this week, hey, are you upset? Did you see that? I don't know if you read those. Duke, are you upset about not getting the ball? And he said, nope. But I would love to get the ball more. I think I can do things with the ball in my hands, but I'll concentrate on being a good blocker, if that's what I'm asked to do. I'm going to do my job the best I can. Once again, giving correct answers. It's not hard, Hugh. Not hard.
We're getting better. We're going to hit the playbook harder. We're going to practice tough this week. We're going to trying to learn, trying to come together as a team.
One game at a time.
Yeah, just say stupid sports metaphors and cliches.
If we're gonna do this, we're gonna do it together as a team. If we're right.
Yeah, you don't sit down and go, I think I'm going to take control of the offense because that was bullshit out there.
I mean, it was, and I mean, he's right. The first half it was, and then second half they got it together. They started playing better. And here's the thing: I have you been I don't know how much you've been seeing people saying, oh, well, is Baker really that good? A lot of this is on Baker. Like, a lot of these problems are Baker. Like, okay, now Baker didn't have the best game. Baker didn't have the best game against San Diego. Baker didn't have the best game against Tampa Bay, at least for the first half. He had a very good second half. But he's a rookie. We've been saying this. Like, this guy's a rookie. Okay, and he's already getting like veteran treatment. They're already going, well, is the offense on Baker? Well, yeah, of course, some of it is. Yeah. Part of it, because he's a rookie. He's still playing, but he's playing like the best rookie quarterback that you ever see. Like, it's as good of a rookie quarterback that there is. It's top tier rookie quarterback play. Now, is it elite Tom Brady, Drew Brees play? No, he's not there yet. It's going to take time. But this is as good as it gets for a rookie. So you can sit there and you can go, well, he's not the best in the game. Well, no. Of course it's going to take time. You have to have some patience with the guy. But to put what's going on, like the issues that have happened, only squarely on Baker is just absurd to me. I mean, what do you expect? We said right here, there's going to be problems. But what do you want? What do you think it's going to look like with Tyrod? You think it would look any better? Of course not. It would look worse. It would look a lot worse. I don't want to hear that. I don't want to get that thing started where, oh, well, is this Baker's doing,
Yeah, I mean, he's played in 4.5 games. We've got 9 games remaining. Let's just enjoy the way out.
Yep, enjoy having a good quarterback. Enjoy having what I would call a solid defense. You would just say average. I think... this is a decent team, and even if we don't win a lot of games this year, we've made, I think the steps have been taken, right, to go, hey, now we've got plenty of players here, we got plenty of talent to win these games. Now we just need to finish the rest of the organization.
Yeah, everybody stay healthy. Let's let Baker get his reps. Go out there, complete some passes, figure it out. The receiving corps is depleted. I think there's another week. When is the trade deadline? The 31st?
I think it's one more week. Yeah. It's week 8, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's the end of week 8.
Yeah, something like that. So there's maybe they'll make a move, maybe they won't. But as it stands right now, you're sort of, we're going to be a little depleted, and you're just going to have to play with what we got. Enjoy it.
Yeah. Well, the nice thing is, what would be nice is if the rookies turn the corner at the halfway mark. And a lot of times they say, well, you hit the rookie wall, or some guys, they finally start catching on the reps, the just being in live game action. That's kind of what I'm hoping with Callaway. Callaway's going to have a lot of rust there at the beginning of the year, of course, because he didn't play football last year, and maybe they've kind of toned it down for him. They haven't asked him to do as much, at least in the Tampa Bay game. We'll see as that keeps going. Plus, once we get Higgins back, I imagine Higgins will be back in another couple of weeks. So, because we really could use him as well. They did add a couple guys. We didn't talk about that. They added Pharaoh Brown, the tight end, to the roster.
Yeah, came up from the practice squad.
Yep, and he's played a little bit of special teams. I'm wondering exactly what that move will be. To me, that's the guys you can add right this time of year. There's not a lot of guys that are going to be able to come in and give you good reps on offense or defense, but you can still find those guys that can give you good reps on special teams. And as we know, we're still searching for that. So if Pharaoh Brown can come in and add some blocking, so Peppers can find a couple more holes, or if he can get down and tackle somebody, that will be big. They also added Ray Armstrong, the linebacker that played for the Giants. He was a University of Miami guy from a couple years ago. So he got added. Again, this is probably due to losing Burgess, probably due to Schobert missing a couple games. You bring in another guy that's got a little bit of NFL experience, another guy that plays on special teams as well. I'm sure he'll get a few reps there. So, these are not guys that are going to go and blow you away and move the needle, but guys that add a little bit of depth to the roster.
Yeah.
Am I missing somebody? I feel like there's somebody else we added. I think that might be it.
Devontae Mays to the practice squad.
Okay. I don't know him.
Yeah. Just a practice squad guy.
That's it. That's all you are.
Did say Randall and Shredder are, he feels good that they will both play. So
Okay.
maybe we don't have to worry about Randall.
He's been on the injury report since like day one. I think as soon as they signed him, they inked him to the deal. He was on the injury report because he's and God bless him. I mean, he seems like a tough son of a bitch. I mean, he's out there fighting his way through this stuff. Every single week he's down.
Doesn't it seem like huh? It's a hell of a line. God bless him, that son of a bitch.
I mean, you got to have that, right? You got to be tough.
Yeah.
And he's playing through injury, so he's getting it done in that aspect.
Yeah.
Did you get it? I don't even know. Did you get a chance to go back and watch the all 22 of the last game?
Yeah.
Because there's a couple things I had to say about it. What did you think of Chubb after you got to go back and watch him compared to Hyde? If you go, what are we missing with Hyde now that you've got a chance to really sit down, not only watch the game, but watch the second time?
Nothing that I didn't see the first time. Explosive, agile, is going to make people miss. He's not going to get tackled by the first dude. Everyone's like, oh, Hyde's such a good short yardage back. Chubb's going to be just fine at short yardage. We need a yard or two. You can give the ball to him. We're fine there.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking. So 5th round pick, that's fine with me. If it's going to mean getting this guy the ball more. I felt like there was a couple times that if he just made one more guy miss, you were breaking a big one. And what that tells me is that's going to happen a lot more often than what you would have seen it with Hyde. I don't even know what Hyde's longest run of the year was, but there's going to be a handful of really long Nick Chubb runs on the way out as long as he stays healthy. I mean, that's the big thing. A lot of people are just worried about that. They say, why not just keep Hyde as a backup, even if you, so, and that's a fair argument. And I honestly think the only argument against that is because Hugh is so bad at putting the good players in that Dorsey is forced to actually move a guy so he plays the best players. That's how bad Hugh is at evaluating talent, in my opinion.
Well, also you just want the asset too. Someone goes, hey, we'll give you a 5th round pick because we have some injuries here and we want to make the playoffs. And Hyde's longest run's 22 yards, by the way. I think I don't know if the Browns were expecting someone to call and offer anything, but the Jags needed somebody. So you take the 5th round pick of a dude that was probably going to be, released in the offseason for nothing, And the Browns are sort of just renting this dude to get Hyde ready to go. Maybe they're thinking, we could have at least Chubb ready to go. Maybe we could have got some more work out of Hyde. But at this point, Chubb's barely played. He's barely had contact this year. So it's not like he's going in with this big, 400 touch season. Yeah,
and he looks fresh. Yeah. That's the other thing. Yeah. He actually looks fresh. That's so. Yeah, I mean, I get the argument against it, but keeping Hyde around means that's less. It's just one more guy to take away touches from Chubb and one more guy to take away touches from Duke, and those are the two guys that need to get the ball more. I mean, it's clear as day to me. Yeah. It's clear as day. Duke is one of our best playmakers, yet they're giving him consistently 4 to 5 touches a game, and that's a fireable offense in itself that this continues for this long. You look around the league, you got guys like, coaches like Peyton knowing how to use Alvin Kamara, or you got, look what they're doing with Tariq Cohen. Look at the way that Darren Sproles was used for so long in Philadelphia. I mean, he's way past his prime, but these are the things you should be doing with Duke Johnson, and you've got to find a way to get this guy the ball 10 to 15 times a game. It has to be.
Yeah.
It has to right now. With this offense that we have, that we're fielding, these wide receivers, you have got to get the best playmakers the ball, and he's one of them. And that's why adding Chubb and that explosiveness, that's so huge, because he can get those big chunk plays. This offense is going to have to rely on those things because we don't have those outside guys that make those big plays. We just don't. It's not here. So if you can put in a back that can get you those long runs from time to time, it's just one more weapon that you didn't have, one more way. You can't survive in the NFL by getting 4 or 5 yards every single play. That's just not the way it works. You have to have those 20-yard plays.
Yeah, agreed.
Baker gives us the best chance of doing that from a quarterback position over Tyrod. Chubb does that, same thing as the running back position. So even though we're looking back at the Steelers week 1 and like you said, the guys that we had there, compared to the guy, I mean, this is a step up in talent for the Browns when you look at it that way. Now, are they going to make some mistakes? Probably. There are going to be some boneheaded things. But at the same time, you want those big chunk plays to be more, to overtake those mistakes that the guys are going to make. It'll be interesting. You never know. It's the NFL. So this game could go any which way, come Sunday.
Yeah. I mean, get a couple picks.
It takes
defense
one
scores, something like that.
Yep. Takes one terrible call touching the quarterback to change things around. One offensive lineman jumping, not being called, and then the ball being thrown for a touchdown. How
about just like an opening touchdown on a drive? How about just points on the opening drive?
Now you're asking for a lot.
Get something happening early, and then we can really see what we can come up with here from the defense.
A lead?
Yeah.
A real lead, like an actual 14, 20-point lead by the Browns. Oh man, Miles would be foaming at the mouth. He wouldn't even know what to do with himself with knowing that the quarterback's going to be throwing on every single down and he can just rush him.
Yeah, well, we know Miles can beat the left tackle. He got a few week one.
What did he have? 2 sacks, I believe, or something?
I think, yeah.
Yep.
Well, maybe 2 strip sacks, maybe even. Ooh. Roethlisberger fumbled twice. I think it was Garrett once, and who had the other strip sack?
Avery, wasn't it?
I think so.
God, it was 6 weeks ago, and it's almost like it never even happened.
I know. That's weird.
All right, anything else you got on this one?
That's all for me.
So, prediction. What is your final score?
I'm going to go with a 31-31 tie.
Oh, my goodness. Well, it has to be overtime. I'll go 31-28 Browns in an overtime. We pull it out, and then in OT, we pull it out, and then everybody, and then immediately after the game, the Haslams sign Hugh to a 5-year extension.
Oh, no. Our cheering would turn into sorrows.
They just loved what they see. We finally beat the Steelers, and they're so excited they had them ink it right there.
Oh, shit.
That's funny. All right. So we will talk to you after the game on Sunday. You can find us on Twitter at STS Podcast. Our email is
survivingtheseason@gmail.com. If you want to support the show, we appreciate it. Patreon.com/STS Podcasts. Thank you to all the new reviews. Appreciate it on iTunes. I was reading through those.
Thank you
I saw your names, but I don't have them in front of me. So we'll call you out next time.
You have been recognized, people. We could use more. I know how many listens we get every time, and there's not even close to that many reviews. So get your lazy asses out there and hit the like button, people. Let's go.
Boom. #Road to Redemption. Greg, tell them what we say.
Keep on surviving.